You are most welcome to another exciting review. Yes, and today we're going to be looking at chapter 2 of Atomic Habits. Right, chapter 2 says how your habits shape your identity and vice versa. That means your habits can shape your identity and your identity can shape your habits as well. This is a fantastic book that helps you. You can't see me. Oh, can anybody see me? I can see myself. If you can see me, please let me know. It seems Mr. Ike cannot see me. Okay, fantastic. All right. So we are reviewing chapter 2 tonight, and it is titled How Your Habits Shape Your Identity and Vice Versa. All right. Why is it so easy to repeat bad habits? Thank you. And so hard to form good ones. Why? Why is it so? Few things can have a more powerful impact on your life than improving your daily habits. Very few things. That means that habits, your daily habits, have very powerful impact on you. Yet it is likely that this time next year, you'll be doing the same thing rather than doing better. If it was so easy for us to break bad habits, almost every one of us would be a saint. It means that we have a lot of work to do in forming good habits as well as breaking bad ones. It often feels difficult to keep good habits. You know, sometimes when you want to develop a good habit, you are very motivated, you're excited about it, but for most people, it just takes a few days. They are back to their old habits. Why is this so? Why is it so to develop the habit of exercising, of praying, of meditation, journaling, cooking? Why is this so difficult? And why is it so difficult as well to break bad habits like biting your nails, masturbation, watching too much TV, addiction to social media, too much sleep, prayerlessness, and so on? This is because changing our habits is challenging for two reasons. Number one, we try to change the wrong thing. And number two, we try to change our habits in the wrong way. So in this chapter, we're going to look at try to change the wrong thing. And then as we go for the book, we'll examine the second one that says we try to change our habits the wrong way. So now, trying to change the wrong thing when we're trying to change our habits implies that our first mistake is that we try to change, what we shouldn't change. There are three layers of behavior change. Number one is the outcome. Number two is the process. And number three is the identity. Now, the outcome, just like layers of an onion, right? The outcome now is the end result. Oh, I want to be an athlete. I want to be a writer. I want to be a journalist. I want to be an Olympic medalist, and so on. That's the outcome. We shouldn't focus on the outcome if we want to change a bad habit or if we want to build a good habit. Don't focus on the outcome. The outcome is concerned with changing your results. You want to lose weight. You want to become a model and things like that. The second layer is the process. Now, this is the how. The system. How are you going to get there? Right? It is concerned with changing your habits and systems, implementing a new routine, things that you do bit by bit, things that may not be so noticeable, but every time you are repeatedly doing them. The third layer and deepest layer is changing your identity. Who are you? And we're going to be talking a lot about identity in this chapter. This level is concerned with changing your beliefs, your worldview, your self-image, your judgment about yourself, bias, your mindset, and so on. Most of the beliefs, assumptions, and biases you hold are associated with this level. So outcomes are about what you get, the goal, the end result. Processes are about what you do. So we want to talk more about what you do, and your identity, the third layer, right? Okay, so when it comes to building habits that lasts, not habits that you're going to uphold for a few days, habits that last you for a lifetime. When it comes to building a system of 1% improvements, like we talked about yesterday in chapter 1, the problem is not that one level is better or worse than another. All levels of change are useful in their own way. The problem is the direction of change. How are you trying to change? Don't put too much focus on outcome-based habits, right? Like, oh, I want to, become this. I want to be able to, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 100 pounds. No, let's focus more on the process and let's focus more on the identity. So that is one of the mistakes that a lot of people make. They are trying to change in the wrong way. Now, the first thing you are going to try and do is to change your identity. Who are you? What do you want to become? How do you perceive yourself? What are your beliefs? What are your mindsets? If you sit down and always say to yourself that I am a leader, and you repeat that to yourself every day, then there are some associated questions you begin to ask. How does a leader behave? Does a leader eat anyhow in public? Does a leader speak anyhow to people? Does a leader talk down on people? So you now begin to ask yourself, if your answer to this or your answers are no, then this will help you to come back to track to say, no, this is not how a leader behaves. Because now you are seeing yourself in a different light. So forget about your habits for probably a second and think about what you want to become. Think about who you are. Who are you? Because no matter how much you try to change your habits. Now, let me give you a very good example from this book. Imagine two people resisting a cigarette. When offered a smoke, the first person says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. It sounds like a reasonable response, right? But this person still believes that they're a smoker who is trying to be something else. They are trying to quit. So even though it sounds very smooth in their mouth, oh no, I'm trying to quit. But deep down, they are still seeing themselves as a smoker who is trying to quit smoking. Now, this is the second person's response. Then the second person declines by saying, no thanks, I am not a smoker. It doesn't necessarily mean that this person doesn't smoke anymore. But he has changed his identity. He doesn't see himself as a smoker anymore. The temptation may be there. He may take 1 or 2 sticks in a day, maybe from 5 that he used to do before. He has now reduced them to 2. But he's changing his identity. His mindset has changed to say, I am not a smoker. Just like as a Christian, they will tell us that, okay, you are a child of God. The fact that you commit sin once in a while, you make mistakes, does not make you a sinner. You see, there is a difference between being a sinner and committing sin. Because if I commit sin, and my conscience tells me, and the Spirit of God in me tells me that I have done something wrong, I am conscious of it, I feel bad about it, I feel remorseful, I quickly go to God, I ask for forgiveness. You see, because my identity, I believe that I am not a sinner, but I made a mistake, right? It's different from somebody who feels condemned, and then they wouldn't feel any remorse, they don't have any conscience when they do something bad. It is the same example. So how do you see yourself? There's a difference between somebody that says, I'm trying to quit, and somebody that says, I am a smoker. This statement signals a shift in the identity for the person that says, I'm not a smoker. So they set goals and determine the actions they should take to achieve those goals without considering the beliefs that drive their actions. That's why a lot of people don't change. They just set goals. Oh, I want to stop smoking. I want to stop smoking. But you have to change your mindset first. You have to first of all believe that you are not a smoker. You are not associated with smokers and all of that. We're just using this as an example. There can be so many examples. And another example will be somebody that is trying to lose weight. that is trying to keep fit, right? Every day, the person must tell himself, oh, I am fit, I am healthy. Even though they may still be on the big side, they may still be obese, but it starts from the mind. They mustn't see themselves as obese. So every time they will ask themselves, oh, for somebody who wants to keep fit or stay healthy, do they eat junks? Do they eat heavy meals at night? Do they skip the gym? Right. Okay. There's also a very interesting story here of Brian Clark, an entrepreneur, from Colorado, who had been biting his nails for so long. This can be a very common habit, right? I used to bite my nails too when I was growing up. And I remember that I also made the determination, just like this guy, that I wasn't going to bite my nails anymore. So this man said he wasn't going to bite his nails because the habit for him started through nervousness. When people are nervous, sometimes they could do that, right? Oh, you're biting your nails now. You have to repent. So he just determined that, he wasn't going to bite his nails anymore. He resolved to stop chewing his nails until they grew out a bit, right? And through mindful willpower alone, he managed to do that. And then something surprising happened. His wife scheduled a manicure session for him. And after doing this session, he liked the way that his nails turned out. They look so nice and good and all of that. So he took pride in that. And that motivated him to stop biting, to keep grooming his nails like that. So sometimes the more pride you have in a particular aspect of your identity, the more motivated you will be to maintain the habits associated with it. That's why sometimes it is good to have people checking up on us and nudging us on and saying, whoa, well done, well done. It can really improve our self-esteem. And then we want to keep up with that good habit. Or maybe when we break a bad habit, somebody says, oh, well done, you did so well. I love your willpower. You are strong. That alone can motivate you never to go back to the bad habit. So try to get pride in whatever you do, right? So still talking about identity. Instead of changing identity, instead of the outcome, changing the process instead of the end result. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. So start seeing yourself as a reader. Just like those of us who read and review books right now, right? We have a goal in mind. But then how do you see yourself? You see yourself as somebody who is knowledgeable, full of wisdom, who has become addicted to reading, an ardent reader. So the goal is not also to run a marathon, it's to become a runner, if that is your own goal. The goal is not to learn an instrument, it's to become a musician. What do you want to become? You want to be known for it, and you want to be known with it. And you have to start changing your terrible mindset, the identities that are stuck with you. Like when people say, oh, I'm not a morning person, I say it also, oh, I'm not a morning person, right? Who formed this identity? Who determined it? Was it God that told me that I am not a morning person? I just took that. I just said, oh, I'm usually grumpy very early in the morning and all of that. I'm not a morning person. And you see, or you tell yourself, oh, I'm not good with names. I'm terrible with directions. I'm bad at remembering people's names. I'm always late. I'm not good with technology. I'm horrible at math. Oh, I'm a shy person. Some people want to introduce themselves, and the first thing they will say, oh, I'm a shy person. Who told you? You put that badge on yourself. That is your identity. And the moment you keep repeating it to yourself, any story you keep telling yourself, you see, the power of the mind is going to stick to you. You come to believe it. And sometimes these identities are formed by culture. I'm a Yoruba woman, for example. What's that popular culture or identity that has stuck with me because I'm Yoruba? I don't know. I can't even remember anyone right now. But of course, you know what I'm trying to say. Or maybe you are Igbo. And then based on your tribe, based on your culture, you have allowed some identities to stick to you, which may not be good, right? Even by association. Thank you. There's also personal identity, like we have said. Oh, I am this, I'm not that. I hate maths. I'm not just cut out for that. Or some people will just determine that they don't like a particular food. I I don't take milk. I don't take milk. You see? And so on. Okay, we're gonna move very fast now. So how do we come about identity in the first place? If your belief and world view play such an important role in your behavior, where do they come from in the first place? There are two-step process to changing your identity. So, but where do they come from in the first place? Your identity emerges from your habits. You are not born with preset beliefs. Every belief, including those about yourself, is learned and conditioned through experience. Some of them, like we said, come through your culture. The fact that you are the Igbo tribe, or you are Hausa, or you are a South African, you are Zulu, you are Xhosa. I didn't get that right. Xhosa. Okay, I'm about to say I'll never get it, but we're talking of identity. So, no, there's nothing like impossibility here, right? But there's a way the South Africans call it. Or I'm Tswana, and things like that. They all come to us. We get them. They emerge after we are born, based on association, experiences, what you see, the people you relate with, and all of that. Identity is repeated beingness. The word identity was originally derived from the Latin words essentitas, which means being, B-E-I-N-G, and identidem, which means repeatedly. So your identity is literally your repeated beingness, what to say you are, who you believe you are, right? And it comes from evidence. The more you get the evidence that, oh, maybe you fail maths today, you fail again tomorrow, you are beginning to gather evidence, and then you just conclude that you are terrible at mathematics, right? So the two simple processes are: number one, decide the type of person that you want to be. Then number two, prove it to yourself with your small wins, right? That is how to break out of bad habits. And always ask yourself, like I said in the beginning, if you want to become a leader, what are the things that leaders do? Who are they? There are definitions. There are particular identities, or a particular identity that comes with being a leader. So start seeing yourself in that light. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce it. Say it positively every day. Be intentional about it. I am not a failure. I can work under pressure. I have tremendous power. I remember people's names. I am kind to people. Sometimes there is an identity that we give to people from a particular place, and we say, oh, everybody from that tribe, they are mean, right? Everybody from that tribe is mean. Or don't marry from that place, Oh, they are very promiscuous. Who gave them that identity? Sometimes we just put these badges on ourselves, right? So what's the chapter summary for chapter 2? Number 1, there are 3 levels of change: outcome change, process change, and identity change. Number 2, the most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. Number 3, your identity emerges out of your habits. So every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Be mindful of your action. Number 4, becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. Number 5, the real reason habits matter is not because they can get you better results, although they can do that, but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. So pay attention to your beliefs, your habits, your beliefs, your identity. The fact that you make mistakes does not make you a failure. Don't put the identity of a failure on yourself, okay? Everything starts from the mind. This is what I want you to take away from tonight's review. It is not about who you are right now. It is not about where you are right now, but who you are in your mind. How do you see yourself? Perception is everything. All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this review. Please don't forget to like this video. Kindly share your comments with me in the comment section below. And please subscribe to this channel in case you're yet to subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and on this channel, I inspire you to live intentionally. We'll come together again by God's grace as we review chapter 3, which is titled How to Build Better Habits in 4 Simple Steps. It's going to be another interesting review. Until then, be intentional.